Tonight on News Center Now, a sex trafficking ring uncovered in New England. Details from an indictment recently unsealed. Plus, a Portland police officer is thanked by a man who says saved his life from a recent arrest. And if you woke up with News Center Maine, you saw Lee Goldberg filled in for the morning report. That means you know who is doing double duty.
You get me for the weather, and I read the words. This is News Center Now. We start by taking a moment to reflect on the lives lost in one of the worst mass shootings in our nation's history. I'm Keith Carson.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. Today marks the 6th anniversary of the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. These are images from that day back in 2012 when a gunman walked into the school and killed 26 people, including 20 children and 6 teachers.
And earlier this morning, the school was evacuated after receiving a bomb threat. Newtown police say they received a call around 9 in the morning that a bomb was at the school. Police responded and the school was evacuated as a precaution. Police don't believe that threat was credible. And here's the tweet from the Portland Police Department paying tribute to those who lost their lives in the massacre.
He knows the truth. I know the truth. Many people know the truth. Under no circumstances do I want to embarrass the President of the United States of America.
That you saw was Michael Cohen, President Trump's former lawyer, speaking out to ABC's George Stephanopoulos in his first interview since being sentenced to 3 years in prison for charges stemming from campaign finance violations to allegedly paying hush money to women who claim to have had affairs with Mr. Trump.
When asked during the interview why he lied and committed illegal acts for the President Trump, Cohen said, out of loyalty to him, I followed a bad path, and hence how we started this conversation. I have my freedom, and I will not be the villain. As I told you once before, I will not be the villain of his story. President Trump issued a series of tweets yesterday vehemently denying he directed Michael Cohen to do anything illegal and that his former lawyer broke the law on his own accord. Oh, closer to home, Republican Congressman Bruce Poliquin is calling off the recount he requested in Maine's 2nd congressional district race.
He tweeted earlier today saying while his legal team is still reviewing the next steps to take following that federal judge's ruling to strike down his lawsuit to reverse ranked choice voting, he believes it's in everyone's best interest to call off the recount during the holiday season.
After Democrat Jared Golden defeated this 2-term incumbent in ranked choice recount, Poliquin took legal action asking Judge Walker to declare him the winner of the hotly contested 2nd congressional district race under the argument that ranked choice voting was unconstitutional. An attorney for the Committee for Ranked Choice Voting says he believes Walker's ruling will stand up to any appeal. And speaking of Poliquin, he's calling on the federal government to create a $1 coin in honor of the late President George H.W. Bush, who passed away several weeks ago at the age of 94.
In a statement, he said that President Bush and his late wife Barbara Bush will always hold a special place in the hearts of so many Mainers, and that it would be fitting to memorialize him with the presidential $1 coin program. The U.S. Congress created it in 2005 under the Presidential $1 Coin Act, which works to put all deceased presidents on a $1 coin. Congressman Poliquin's legislation also calls for a commemorative coin to be issued in honor of Barbara Bush's memory as well. A New Hampshire couple is accused of running a sex trafficking and prostitution scheme in Maine and across New England.
According to the indictment, So Chai Lee and Durong Mayo, both 37 years old, targeted at least 27 Chinese women and lured them to homes and hotels in Maine and across New England. They're accused of controlling their movements and keeping them isolated for nearly 2 years. The lead prosecutor on the case says the couple used WeChat, which is popular in China and similar to Snapchat, to entice and in some cases coerce women into coming to New England.
The immigration status of the women who were recruited was that they had traveled here on H-1B1 visas, which are typically for tourism, meaning that they are for a temporary period of time. And that was something that a number of the Chinese females, almost all of them, had in common.
If convicted, the couple could face life behind bars. An investigation remains underway. Getting ready to ring in a new year, it's a time many show gratitude to the people who surround them.
And a pair of police officers were recently thanked for something very few people are actually thankful for: a night behind bars.
It was a typical day on the beat for Portland police officers Benjamin Savage and David Moore.
This is stuff we do every single day, every night. Sometimes it doesn't seem like we make an impact.
Passers-by will often stop to say a thing or two to the officers. Sometimes it's positive, other times it's the opposite. But on one December day, a day they won't soon forget, a man named Steven flagged them down.
He came up and he was like, do you guys have a second? And we said, yeah, and then he started to tell us his story about his involvement with us.
They say Steven thanked them for saving his life. He told them he was arrested in April of 2014 after operating under the influence. It was also the day he left alcohol in the rearview mirror and turned his life around for the better.
Definitely made our day better.
Officers Savage and Moore weren't the officers who arrested him, but they are the officers who contribute to the Portland Police Department's social media. They were so touched by his story, they paused for a picture and followed up with a post.
Didn't even get his last name because I told him, I was like, I don't want to pry too much into your private life. We just kind of, would you mind if we featured your story? I mean, it's an awesome story, and he was all about it.
It now has over 1,000 likes on Facebook.
To see somebody like that who was down on their luck at one point and changed things totally around, and now he's getting 1,000+ people that he doesn't even know supporting him and kind of being with him, it's awesome for us to see.
We weren't able to reach Steven ourselves, but that post from Portland Police had more than 100 shares as well. All right, Keith, I think the best forecast is the weekend forecast. Am I right?
It looks good. It looks good, Lindsay. Yeah, and it's a lot quieter than we thought, say, a couple of days ago, which we'll always take. We got up to 41 today in Portland, which isn't crazy warm, but it feels nice considering where we've been. 37 in Bangor, 33 in Millinocket, 29 in Greenville. Temperatures still in the upper 30s and low 40s along the coastline. Relatively pleasant night tonight as the air mass has moderated, and we'll see that through the weekend, especially tomorrow into the upper 40s in spots. A couple of snow showers starting to work their way into the mountains. They'll be thrilled to see those. Rain showers, though, will emerge on the other side. So overnight tonight, the basic premise here is isolated flurry, isolated sprinkle through the night, but the vast majority of us, especially along the coastline, do end up dry. And you can see that sprinkle and snow shower activity moving towards the coast by later tonight. Temperatures, though, still mild here at midnight. We're still in the 30s in most spots, which is really nice. We start with a little bit of cloud cover on Saturday. We systematically, though, burn that off. So about 9 or 10 o'clock, we should be sunny. Then the rest of the day is beautiful, mostly sunny through the rest of the day. Upper 40s again over the coastline into southwestern parts of the state, and into the upper 30s along the mountains and into northern Maine as well. And then as we head into Sunday, things will start to increase in clouds by Sunday afternoon, and we're watching a storm for Sunday night and into Monday. That one is going to be a close shave along the coastline, so we'll talk a little bit more about that storm. It looks like it could have at least a little baby snowfall amounts to go along with it. All right. How is a struggling NHL team fighting to get back on track? Well, it requires a little bundle of energy. We'll explain.
You're going to like that story. And the Maine Black Bears are one game away from the promised land, a berth in the FCS Finals. But first, they'll have to play on an inferno to get there. Jess Gagne and Jackie Mundry are in Washington following the team.
All right, we're less than 24 hours away from the big game, one of the big games.
Yeah, one of the big games. The Maine Black Bear football team is in Washington State, and so is News Center Maine's Jessica Gagne and Jackie Mundry. Hey guys, look at that red field.
Yes, welcome to the Inferno. This is what they call the field here at EWU, and it doesn't feel like an inferno because it's pretty cold here. It's very windy, about 30 degrees, but my eyes are certainly burning.
So red. So you guys can see it behind us.
Oh yeah, it's red. The seats are red, field's red, signs are red, uniforms will be red. It's all red here. This is where the Black Bears will be playing tomorrow. However, it is not where they practice today.
They actually practice at Whitworth University, which is on the other side of Spokane. And, you know, Coach Harrison-Miak said he's really into the practice routine. He wants to continue that routine, and that means not playing at the field that they're going to play the game at until the big game. So they're hoping that they're going to adjust pregame tomorrow when they see the red field and start throwing the ball around. But we talked to him a little bit about that routine.
We haven't really done that the last 3 years. You know, we've never really gone to the stadium early. So I'm just trying to keep the routine the same. Yeah, I've talked to a couple coaches that have been out here. You know, I talked to the Villanova head coach that played them in the playoffs and out here. So he made a good point. You know, you're not really looking down when you play, so we should be okay. But everyone I've talked to said it's not a big deal.
Players and coaches are not too concerned about the inferno, as they call it. They're just excited to still be playing football into December. We'll have more at 5:30.
Yes.
We're talking to former Maine coach, so that'll be a lot of fun. But
Yes, Jack Cosgrove, former Maine coach. And at 6 o'clock, we actually met a couple, Keith and Lindsay, one who graduated from Eastern Washington, one who graduated from Maine, so we'll have to see who they're cheering for come the big game.
Amazing.
Very
Guys,
cool.
thanks so much.
Ladies,
Stay warm.
don't forget, you can expense everything you do out there. I'll send you the link via email. It's very, very important. Okay.
All right. Well, is your college senior coming home this holiday break with no future employment prospects? Rest easy. We have some advice from one of our own.
Coming up, we'll show you some pointers on how to make your child feel at ease with the job search on this holiday season. Plus,
Dramatic swoop. Oh.
see, if it's past 7 o'clock, I gotta go home because Luca goes to bed, and so I'll party between 6:30 and 7. Okay, so I was kind of lucky. I had a job lined up my junior year, but what if you're about to graduate, you don't have a job?
Yeah, that's pretty rare and pretty awesome at the same time. Maddie Rayner, our intern, has some advice for students and parents.
Congratulations, we made it through the semester.
You did it! Congratulations!
Now it's time to prepare for a different kind of test, going home for the holidays. For most of us, winter break means going home to see family, friends, and loved ones. But it also means that dreaded question of what we're going to do after graduation.
I don't have one question for this witness. I have many questions.
I don't know about you, but I have no clue. I usually have a go-to response.
Everything hurts and I'm dying.
It's going, I'm one step closer, living my best life, don't have a job yet, but if you hear of one, let me know. Any of these responses are great to avoid that question. And honestly, be candid with your family and say that maybe it causes you a little bit more stress than they realize. Remember to enjoy your winter break. Don't stress too much about the future and what you're going to do in May. Use this time to catch up with friends, spend time with family, and really focus on yourself. And parents, it's okay to talk about your student semester, but don't push too much. It may be a touchy subject right now. Happy holidays, and thank you for sharing this journey with me. I'm Madison Rayner, and I'll see you next semester.
Maddie the intern, till she's 45 years old.
Exactly. That'll always be her name in your eyes.
Shakira's hips might not lie, but according to the Spanish government, her tax returns do. How could you do this to me, Shakira? I'm a big fan. Spanish authorities are accusing the Colombian pop star of failing to pay more than $16 million of taxes. That's a lot from 2012 to 2014.
She reportedly put down her official residence in the Bahamas, even though she was really living with her husband in Spain. She eventually moved there in 2015. If she doesn't pay a $21.9 million bond, prosecutors say they'll move to freeze her assets. It's the holiday season, and members of Britain's most popular family have released their Christmas card images.
They were posted on the formal Kensington Palace Twitter account today, which I follow. Prince Harry and wife Meghan Markle, also known as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, selected this image taken during their wedding reception as their holiday card photo this year. It's a nice pic.
It is a nice picture. That's when you can't really take yourself for the IG.
Nope.
While it was all hands on deck for Prince Harry and wife Kate, his wife is Meghan, right? Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess.
Think I know any of this? I'm literally reading exactly what's in there for this particular segment.
I'll tell you this. Meanwhile, William and Kate, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, had the whole family in their photo. I love it.
They got babies.
They're just growing by the minute, that family. All right, this weekend, you know, a lot of people wait till the last minute to take their holiday photos, and they wait, you know, they actually work around the timing of the weather.
Right.
So if people are
Saturday.
doing this at the last minute, you think this weekend's a good one for
It
that?
is. If you take a Saturday, though, you better get that express going. Like,
okay.
Fast.
Like do it early,
Yeah.
right when the sun's
No,
up?
I just mean like to get them out in time.
Oh, I know. Some people wait till the very last minute.
We
It could be
ordered
a
ours
New Year's
on
card.
Shutterfly, and we got 3 times the amount we wanted, so I'm just going to hand them out here at work.
Oh, does that mean I get one?
Yeah, I don't think
I actually get
Well,
one.
then Luca's on it, so that's good. Otherwise, you don't want anything to do with the holiday card, probably. Lots of Luca, a little bit of Reese's. 41 in Portland for a high today, 41 in Rockland, 33 in Millinocket. We did pretty well today, and it's only because we've been so cold that the 40s felt so good today, relatively mild in our below average, really, November through the first half of December. A couple of snow showers out there, especially towards Quebec on the way into the mountains here. There'll be snow showers in the mountains. When they go downhill because it's warmer, there'll be rain showers. So that's just isolated stuff tonight, not a huge deal. And the hour-by-hour forecast showing you snow showers there, rain showers, maybe even into Augusta, eventually in through parts of down East Maine by early tomorrow morning. My sense is that a lot of us along the coastline won't see anything in terms of precipitation overnight tonight and through early tomorrow morning. We start with a little bit of cloud cover tomorrow, burn it off fast though, and the rest of Saturday is nice, mostly sunny. Temperatures mid to upper 40s along the coastline, right around 40 even into the mountains, at least for a brief period of time. It's not very long before the sun sets there, but overall nice day on Saturday. And then Sunday starts off pretty nice as well before clouds increase from southwest to northeast and our next storm system moves in. I'm going to switch computer models to talk about that storm because I think this particular model is just wonky on this storm. So look at all this moisture. The first round is missing to our south. That's what was originally scheduled for tomorrow. But the second round here is what we're really watching for Sunday night, Monday, and into Monday night. And that low will swing pretty close to us into the Gulf of Maine and give us at least a kind of a swing by at least of snow. So watch this storm right here. So that's pretty far offshore for a direct hit. But still, look what happens here on Monday. Some of the precipitation is into the coastline, especially into down East Maine by Monday night into early Tuesday morning before moving out on Tuesday, and then it's colder behind it. So it's kind of a glancing blow of a storm system, but just enough, with enough cold air in place, that we will likely see some accumulation. So here's what I'm thinking, and Ryan and Corey will adjust this over the weekend because the bottom line is if it moves 50 miles east, it'll be almost nothing. If it moves 50 miles west, then all of this will shift with it. So what I have right now is an inch or two from Lewiston to Augusta, Brunswick as well, and then 2 to 4 into Bangor, and 4 to 6 inches possible over down east and extreme down east Maine. And again, this starts late Sunday night, lasts through Monday and into Monday night as well. So we'll fine tune this as we get a little bit closer, but that's kind of the initial thought there. That's about the only thing happening after a nice weekend, and then it turns colder on Tuesday. What happens late next week will probably determine along the coastline whether or not we have a white Christmas. If it's rain, it'll wash everything away. If it's snow, then the white Christmas obviously is a lock. So we'll keep an eye on that storm as well. But yeah, watch the boys this weekend because I think this is one of those where little changes. Normally I don't like them to change my snowfall map, but little changes will make a big difference.
Very good. We'll be tuning in. All right, let's check in now with Pat Callahan. He has a preview of what's coming up tonight on News Center Maine at 5:30. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Lindsay and Keith. A day after a judge tossed out his challenge of ranked choice voting, Congressman Bruce Poliquin this morning decided to call an end to the recount that he'd requested in his loss to Democrat Jared Golden. We'll have the latest on how that all shakes out. Now, there are times when making an emergency phone call to 911 isn't an option. Now, state officials say texting 911 is available throughout Maine. We'll take a look at the potential impact. And in this season of giving, a lot of cash is being spread around to worthy organizations. We'll see who's been playing Santa today. It's all straight ahead on News Center at 5:30.
All right, Pat, thanks so much. Well, I loved this story today, and I think you will too. The NHL St. Louis Blues might not have been having the best season, but that's not stopping them from having some fun during practice with their new little mascot here.
Check out this. They invited a golden Labrador puppy to join them on the ice after practice last night. The five-month-old pup, Barclay, was adopted by the team's front office. They bring him to home games so that he can socialize with fans. It's like a therapy dog if the team's no good, right? As you can see, Barclay is pretty good with a puck. He's being trained to become a future service dog, but right now he's just melting hearts on the ice. Barclay is, isn't that a soccer thing?
Yeah.
I think it is.
It is.
Cute,
and
though.
He's very skilled. Look at that balance. It's like he doesn't need skates.
I'm just saying, you're a little worried about your team if you need a therapy dog, though.
That's true.
It's kind of like a Browns thing, I think.
Yeah, oh, well, not anymore. They broke that streak.
Well, they won a couple games, didn't they?
Yeah. Life is good.
That's cool.
We'll be right back with Raindrops.
All right, so we were asking for viewer questions. I actually originally got this question from Nate Tinsley, who works here, and then viewers asked it too. Why does the temperature drop drastically right when the sun rises?
Oh,
so
I've always wondered that too.
Yeah, so not like, oh, it's getting cold in the morning, because there's two parts to this, right? Your morning low is typically right around sunrise because it has been the longest time from when we've heated the atmosphere to when we're going to heat the atmosphere again, right? So that's the simple answer is overnight lows are typically around sunrise. But there's something more complicated going on here, and the internet did not help me at all. I had to work with another meteorologist in Boston to actually figure this out. So here's what we got, okay? So the sun's rising. Here's east, here's west. Those are the mountains. This is the sea in our case. So as the sun is rising, say your house is right here, and you're seeing the first light, right? To the east of you, the sun is starting to heat the column because those first little rays don't do anything for you in your location. They're just so low and it hasn't had time to heat the atmosphere. So what happens here is we're starting to heat the atmosphere. That creates an area of lower pressure. Meanwhile, where there's no sun yet at all, it's still cold. It's cold and it's dense, and that's high pressure. This is like a sea breeze circulation. So it goes from high pressure to low pressure. That's the natural thing that happens with air. So what that does is drag some of that colder air that's off to your west past your house on the way to this area of lower pressure. That will happen for a short period of time. You'll drop that temperature, and then when this sun continues its inevitable rise here, you'll get into the area that's heated, and your temperature will go back up.
Now, is this the same on like the West Coast or somewhere else in the country?
Yeah, I mean, so the principle is similar here. Whoever's seeing the sunrise before you is going to heat. That air mass is going to pull cold air, so it won't happen every day. Say, for some reason, it's warmer in the mountains than it is at your house. In that case, the opposite would occur. Your temperature would go up. But more likely, most often, this is how it happens. And again, it's like a sea breeze. In the situation of the ocean, you would have this be the land during the summer, right? This is the ocean, and it's flowing on shore. So this is something we worked pretty hard on. I'm never, ever going to erase this, but that is the reason your temperature would drop right as the sun rises.
I'm not just saying this, I followed that.
Good.
I did.
It's because Lee wasn't here to distract you.
This would have made it 5:30 starts right now.
Coming up in the next half hour.
He's